Want to speak real English from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at EnglishClass101.com.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Ask Alisha, the weekly series where you ask me questions and I answer them. Maybe. First question this week comes from Fatima. Hi Fatima. Fatima says, "Hi Alisha, I love your videos, thank you, they help me with studying English. My question, what does the word indeed mean and when should I use it?" Okay. Indeed means yes. It's kind of a formal sounding way of saying you heard something, you agree with it, and you understand it all at the same time. Like I said though, it is kind of a formal expression, so we don't really use it so much in casual conversations. You can use it to make something sound a little bit more important than it actually is though. So you might have heard me use indeed on this channel too. It kind of makes it sound like the conversation or the topic is a little bit more important. So you can use this when you agree with someone and you understand something someone said. Like if someone says, for example, "Wow, the weather today is so hot," you can say, "Indeed." And it sounds like you say yes or "I agree," but it's a little bit more formal. It makes the situation sound like a little more important, a little bit extra. So it can be used in kind of a funny way. You might hear this used in like movies and TV in a similar way, or just to express formal agreement, especially in more old-fashioned English. But essentially, indeed means yes and I agree. Thanks for the question. Okay, let's go to your next question. The next question comes from Chance Ivy Loungen, I think. Hi, Chance Ivy. Chance Ivy says, "Hi, Alisha. Could you tell me more about have to in negative sentences and questions? I'm wondering if we can use do when have to is sometimes a modal equivalent. I want to answer your question about using have to with negatives and in questions because I think that might answer your question about using do. I'm not quite sure about the question relating to do, so I'm going to focus on your question about negatives and using have to in questions. So to review for everybody, we use have to talk about our responsibilities. Responsibilities are things we must do. It's our responsibility, our task, our job in some cases, to do that thing. We often use have to for things we don't want to do. Examples: I have to go to the bank. I have to go to work. I have to finish this project. However, when we use have to in the negative, it means we don't have a responsibility to do that thing right now. Also, one very important point that I think confuses some students is that we use have to for things that we can reasonably be expected to have responsibility to do. Let's look at some natural ways to use don't have to. I don't have to go to the bank. I don't have to go to work. I don't have to finish this project. These are all examples of things we might naturally be expected to have some responsibility to do. If you use it in a sentence like, I don't have to drink alcohol at work, it sounds really strange because in most jobs, it's not an expected responsibility to drink alcohol at work. If perhaps you're like a bartender, for example, maybe it's different. But perhaps in the majority of jobs, that would be a very strange responsibility. So saying I don't have to for something that you're not responsible to do is quite strange. Let's move on to questions. You asked about questions. I want to look at two patterns. One is asking for information and one is confirmation questions. The first pattern, asking for information, I mean, for example, what do you have to do today? What do you have to do today is a question about the other person's responsibilities for that day. If you ask this question, the speaker will talk about the things they are responsible for. I have to go to work. I have to go to the bank. I have to finish this project, for example. The other type of question, however, is a confirmation question, and this is perhaps a little more difficult for learners to understand. We will use something like this. Don't you have to go to work today? This question is asking the listener for confirmation. In a case like this, the speaker thinks the listener should go to work. The listener has some responsibility to go to work. but maybe the listener isn't going to work, or there's some kind of strange situation. So the speaker wants to confirm, don't you have to go to work today? Then the listener can say, yes, I do have to go to work today. I'm leaving soon. Or, no, I don't have to go to work today. I took the day off, for example. So you'll hear these confirmation questions like don't you, or doesn't he, doesn't she have to do something? Those are confirmation questions. The other ones are information questions, like what do you have to do? Why do you have to do that? Asking for information about the responsibility. I hope that helps answer your question relating to do, but if not, please feel free to send another question. I can also try to make a whiteboard about this topic. Thanks very much for sending this question. Okay, let's go on to the next question for today. Next question comes from Almoez. Hi, Almoez. Almoez says, which sentence is correct? I will pick up you from the hotel, or I will pick you up from the hotel. Okay, use I will pick you up from the hotel. We use I will pick someone up from location, always. Some more examples. I'll pick him up from the airport. Can you pick her up from the station? We'll pick them up from the bus stop. So I hope that helps you use pick up, pick someone up. Thanks very much for the question. Let's go on to the next question. Next question comes from Sammy. Hi, Sammy. Sammy says, what is the difference between what's up and what's app? What's up is a greeting. WhatsApp is the name of an application, a smartphone application for communication. So we use what's up to ask people, how are you, in a more casual way. WhatsApp has a very similar sound to it. Yes, it sounds like what's up, but it's not used. We don't use WhatsApp. WhatsApp is what's called a play on words. A play on words means like we're having fun with words that sound the same or are spelled the same as other words. In this case, WhatsApp sounds like what's up, but WhatsApp is an application, so that's where the app in WhatsApp comes from. So this is a play on words. This is maybe a nice name for a communication application because WhatsApp sounds like what's up, which is used as a greeting, a way to start conversations. So make sure you only use WhatsApp when talking about the application. For example, do you have WhatsApp? You can't say, do you have WhatsApp? Or WhatsApp. You can't do that. So only use WhatsApp when you're talking about the application. Use what's up when you're greeting someone. Hope that helps you. Thanks for the question. Okay, let's move on to our next question. Okay, next question comes from Nurdan Emanet. Hi, Nurdan. Nurdan says, hi, Alisha. What are the differences between mind, opinion, thought, and idea? Okay. Generally speaking, we use mind to talk about our brain, the place in our body where we think about things. So mind is used like in the same way that we use brain. It sounds less scientific. If we say brain all the time, it sounds a little bit scientific, like kind of medical, I suppose. I use the expression keep that in mind, or keep this in your mind, or put that in your mind a lot, which means please remember that, or please think about that. So that just means like put something in your head and try to remember it. In other words, study or practice that thing. So your mind refers to this part of your body where you think about things. Your opinions then. Your next word is opinions. Opinions is your ideas about the world, the way that you see the world, whether things are good or bad or tasty or bad tasting. Your opinions are from your experiences and your information, the way you understand the world. So my opinion is like my feeling about something. The last two words, thought and idea, can be used similarly sometimes. Generally speaking, if you want to use thought, you can use that to describe anything that's in your head. This can be an old idea, a new idea, just something that happened recently or something for the future. Anything in your mind can be a thought. So that's being used as a noun there. I'm not using it as a verb. As a noun, a thought is just something, some concept in your mind. Idea is often used the same way as thought. However, idea often has the feeling of a new thought. So you can think of idea as a new thought. We use idea in situations where we're trying to think of new things. So like for a project, you need an idea for a project. It means you need a new thought. You need to think of something new for a project. We use the word idea to give that feeling of something new. We haven't seen it, we haven't heard it before. So if you want to think about the difference between thought and idea, you can maybe think about idea as a new thought. I hope that helps you. Thanks very much for the question. Let's move on to our next question. Next question comes from Sarosh. Hi, Sarosh. Sarosh says, what are catenative and complex catenative verbs? Yeah, tough question. Catenative verbs are verbs that we can chain together. This is kind of a more complex grammar point. Complex catenative verbs are these verb chains that have an object. So let's take a look at a few examples. They're going to come clean the house. He's going to help me do my homework. She forgot to buy milk. So with this grammar point, with catenative verbs, we can sometimes use the infinitive form of the verb, which is to plus the verb, or we can use the gerund form, which is the ing form. However, this often changes the meaning. Here's a really good example. She stopped to smoke a cigarette. This means she paused her activities to smoke a cigarette. We see the verb in the infinitive form, to smoke. She stopped smoking cigarettes. This means she quit smoking altogether. She quit the habit of smoking. Okay, so I hope that helps you. Thanks very much for the question. It's a big topic, so maybe I can make a whiteboard video about it in the future. So those are all the questions that I have for this week. Thank you, as always, for sending your questions. Remember, you can send them to me at englishclass101.com/ask-Alisha. Of course, if you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you have not already, and check us out at englishclass101.com for some other things that can help you with your English studies. Thanks very much for watching this episode of Ask Alisha, and I will see you again next week. Bye bye!